The park was wrapped in winter's soft silence, its trees dusted in white like powdered sugar sprinkled over a fairy tale. Snowflakes drifted lazily from the pale grey sky, landing gently on the already blanketed ground. The benches, though cold to the touch, offered a quiet corner of the world to two students who had stolen some time from the noise of college life. One sat beside Jungkook on the iron bench, her gloved hands tucked under the folds of her beige woolen overcoat. A knitted cream colored muffler was looped twice around her neck, the ends fluttering slightly with every chilly breeze. Her cheeks, flushed pink from the cold, almost gave away what her heart refused to say out loud. Beside her, Jungkook wore a sleek black overcoat with a navy scarf carefully wrapped around his neck, strands of his dark hair dusted with snow. His fingers were stuffed deep into his pockets, and the tip of his nose had turned a bright crimson from the cold. Wine tilted her head to look at him and let out a soft chuckle, the sound warm in the icy air. Cookie, your nose is so red. She giggled, biting her lower lip to keep it from spreading too wide. Chukuk turned to her, his breath visibly fogging in the space between them. He rolled his eyes and gave a little huff. Yeah, well, blame the snow for that. She laughed again, her heart flipping like a schoolgirl's. She always loved when he let his tough exterior drop for even a second. Still, you were looking kinda cute. He chuckled, brushing some snow off his scarf with a slight shake of his head. Thanks, I guess not the look I was going for, but I'll take it. There was a pause, comfortable yet heavy, as she looked at him out of the corner of her eye, memorizing the soft way the snow clung to his slashes, the curve of his jaw, the kindness in his smile that always managed to reach his eyes. I want ice cream. He turned so quickly, his expression a perfect blend of disbelief and concern. No, absolutely not. You can't have ice cream in this weather. Are you trying to get sick? He sounded more serious than she would expected, and the way his brows furrowed sent an involuntarily fluttered through her chest. Just a small one, she pouted, only half joking. Why, your throat is already sensitive these days. Don't act cute. You'll regret it tomorrow and then blame me for letting you. He reached out and tucked her scarf up to cover her nose, his gloves brushing her cheek with surprising gentleness. Better keep this on properly, Timmy. Blinked, caught off guard by how close he was, the heat from his palm still lingering against her skin even through the fabric. Her smile faltered for a second. He always cared so much, but only as a friend, just as a friend, and still she hoped. Later that evening, they walked back toward the college gates, their boots crunching against the snow covered path. The sky had deepened to a darker blue, and the lampposts along the way had started to flicker on one by one. We have Professor Min's class tomorrow morning, right? Yep. And don't even Think about skipping. I'm waking you up at 6 sharp. Slave driver, she muttered under her breath. I hate that. She grinned. Well, someone has to suffer with me. I vote you. Too bad I'm already suffering with you as my partner in every damn group project. He bumped her shoulder playfully, and she bumped him back, laughing. But later, when they reached the college dorms and said goodbye, she stood at her window watching him disappear into the building across the courtyard. She stood there for a long while, snow still falling, wondering what if would be like if one day he looked back at her with something more than just friendship in his eyes, something deeper, something that matched the ache swelling inside her chest. The sun had already begun its descent when the final lecture of the day ended. Golden rays spilled through the tall glass windows of the university library as students shuffled in, some with drowsy eyes, others fueled by caffeine and deadlines. But in one quiet corner, tucked between rows of dusty shelves, two familiar figures sat in silence, one in Jungkook. She was getting nervously with the ribbon of a small gift box in her lap, something she had wrapped herself the night before. It wasn't extravagant, just a simple handmade keychain with a miniature black hoodie charm. Because he always wore hoodies, and a tiny silver snowflake like the one she saw land on his hair the day before. Jungkook sat across from her, his sleeves rolled halfway up his forearms, pencil tucked behind his ear. As he flipped through a thick textbook, the air between them felt normal, easy, but her heart was thundering with a storm that refused to calm. She pushed the box toward him across the table. Here, I got something for you. He looked up, puzzled at first, then slowly picked it up. What is this? He untied the ribbon and lifted the keychain, his lips curling into a soft, amused smile. You made this? Yeah, I know, it's silly, but I saw it and thought of you. He leaned back in his chair, spinning the tiny charm between his fingers. It's not silly, it's cute. Thanks, Vine. She smiled faintly, her breath caught somewhere between her ribs. She watched him tuck the keychain into his coat pocket, and her fingers curled into her palms beneath the table. She couldn't hold it in anymore, now or never. Jungkook, she said softly, her voice barely above a whisper. He glanced up, sensing the shift in her tone. I wanted to tell you something for a long time. She swallowed hard, heart pounding. I like you. He froze, his smile disappearing like sunlight behind a cloud. A long pause stretched between them, and her fingers trembled. He exhaled slowly. Why? I don't know what to say. Say you feel the same, she whispered, desperate eyes searching his. But what she saw there was hesitation, pity. Why? I like you. Yeah, but only as a friend. The silence was stiffening. Then all that care, all the times you held my scarf, stopped me from eating ice cream, made me laugh when it was down, that mean nothing. A tear welled up, trembling at the corner of her eye before sliding down her cheek. You don't love me? He sighed and leaned back, voice laced with something colder now, restrained and firm. Wine, can't I care for you just because you're my friend? Does every act of kindness have to mean love? She blinked at him, stunned into silence. I don't want to give you fake hopes. That's not fair to you. I never mean to lead you on. His voice turned flat, mechanical, like he was trying to shut the door before emotion could leak in. Look, it's like Wi Fi connected but no internet. There is a signal but no spark. You get it right? That stupid metaphor hit harder than an insult. Wine stared at him, lips parted, heart cracking like thin ice under pressure. Without another word, she stood. The wooden chair scraped back against the floor, loud in the dead quiet library. Wine. He reached for her arm instinctively, maybe even regret in his eyes, but she stepped back. Her voice broke as she said, "It's okay, I got it." And just like that, she turned and walked away. Past the dusty shelves, past the curious tears, past the heavy weight of all the hopes she had carried like glass in her chest. Outside, the evening had turned colder. Her boots crunched against the frozen ground as she made her way back to her apartment, the tears now falling freely. Behind her, Jungkook sat alone in the same chair, box still open on the table, and the silence that followed felt colder than any snowfall. The door to her apartment clicked shut behind her, but the sound echoed in her ears like a final goodbye. The warmth in her voice space didn't reach her. She stood there frozen, her breath shaky, and eyes already clouding with tears that had held themselves back for too long. She dropped her bag on the floor, shrugged off her coat with trembling fingers, and walked straight to her room like a ghost hollow numb. And then, without warning, it hit her. The ache, the sting in her chest that spread like wildfire. She collapsed onto her bed, burying her face into the pillow, as silent sobs ragged through her body. The weight of his words circled her like a storm cloud just a French. I don't want to give you fake hopes, Wi-Fi connected but no internet. The words replayed with cruel precision, stabbing deeper every time she bit her lip, trying to muffle the sounds of her cries, but they came anyway, raw, broken, unfiltered. She sat up slowly, knees pulled to her chest, eyes red and swollen. Her voice was barely a whisper, a cracked echo in the stillness of the room. "It's my fault, I'm the stupid one." She sniffled, wiping her face with the sleeve of her hoodie. Why did I think it meant anything just because he cared, just because he smiled? I built castles from shadows. Her voice cracked again, but she kept talking to herself, to her pain, to the echo of what could have. He was right, he never gave me promises. I made them up in my head. A bitter laugh escaped her lips, short, sad, almost sarcastic. Fake hopes? No. Jungkook, I created them all by myself. You didn't have to. She looked up at the ceiling, tears trailing silently down her cheeks, her expression hollow. Her heart was aching, yes, but the shame, that was worse, the feeling that she had read too much into the kindness. That maybe somewhere along the way she had confused basic affection with love because her heart had wanted it so badly. I just wanted it to be real, that's all. She curled deeper into her blanket, her voice fading into a whisper. Just once, I wanted someone to choose me, not as a friend, not as a backup plan, just me. The snow continued to fall outside her window, silently blanketing the world in white, but inside her chest, it felt like everything was crumbling.